For sure. And so CIK has to be able to ensure that they don't go down too early, too quickly, because we've seen JYC's ability to just snowball a lead so effectively with the most knowledgeable player on their team being in the jungle, able to direct the entire game from that situation.
Yeah, so here we go. We are loading into the Rift now. We're getting it underway. This is going to be a banger here, folks. I mean, JYC, we've talked about their excellence, and this is just another piece in the puzzle, right? Let's see if they can continue that undefeated record as we have a quick pause right away. The Caitlyn disconnects, so that could be part of the contribution to that long loading screen earlier. I'm sure we'll be back in with just a moment.
Yeah, I believe we were waiting on blob paints earlier just to get the pro draft started. So potentially some internet issues there. Maybe you can go feed the gerbil that's running around and powering your router quickly so we can get this game underway. I believe we've covered just about everything we want to up until now. And so the only thing left is to watch these summoners fight. I guess just looking at the early buys, Malphite opting for the Corrupting Potion instead of a Doran's Shield or even a Doran's Ring if you wanted to go AP at all. Fairly standard, but definitely something that Malphites are looking to build if they need to sustain a little bit more very, very early, which is definitely the case against somebody like Ryze.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Doran's Shield, it has a lot of potential in those attack damage matchups to keep you in the game, but versus AP, it's not quite as effective because the auto attacks aren't the main point. You're going to get comboed by a mage as opposed to just whittled down with auto attacks. So instead, I like that. But the pause is finished here, and right away we see JYC going for an invade. But it looks like it's not going to result in much.
Yeah, I think that Viego was near his top side of the jungle and just backed, and now he's going to go back there. But if they ran into anybody in the bot side, they had all 5 members there, putting a lot of pressure. Now, even a couple wards around CIK's red buff is going to make a little bit harder to do the jungle without legit player knowing exactly where you are throughout this whole clear.
Yeah, and that's honestly the first invade we've seen out of the whole tournament, right? Most people are just opting for the 5-point stance in the early game, just covering all those jungle entrances. But instead, JYC here going for an aggressive invade, looking to put down those wards. You can see it all in the red side jungle. There's 2 red wards as well as 2 blue side wards there. So really aggressive play off the start there. Doesn't result in anything, but I think that means there is going to be an early jungle pathing game plan.
Yeah, for sure. And I do like, a bit of the non-meta starts that we've seen so far. I'm hoping JYC continues to do some funky stuff, making it an enjoyable game to watch. And I think that's probably a reflection of how they feel in terms of their skill level compared to CIK's, willing to take a little bit more risks. And so CIK has to be aware of that and know that they might be able to punish JYC late if they're going to continue to do these risky plays like that.
Yeah, if you start getting greedy with your drafts or with your gameplay, you can be punished, right? There's more windows for the opposition. But luckily here, that ward early game has spotted out that the Viego started topside. He was on his blue. So they are going to have, JYC is going to have a decent idea of the jungle path in the early game. They know he's going to be at the red buff at the start. So what I really hope to see out of JYC's bottom lane here is they push another wave, get it into the turret so that their minions reset in the middle portion of the lane and they can't be punished early game by that Viego.
Oh my gosh, look at all this damage going on to Kled, but now Kled re-engaging, Galio forced to flash out. Great play by RD4Cake, and that's just where the knowledge base of a champion comes through. I'm sure a lot of Kleds, if you didn't have too many mastery, you get knocked off your horse against a Galio with 2/3 HP, you're not re-engaging, but that's not the case for RD4Cake, as he knows exactly what a champion does now, flash igniting in as he gets back onto his mount. Galio able to dash out, and that's a lot of summoner spells down mid. A great engage by Kled, but Galio just able to get out of there with his dash.
All right, and it looks like that is not going to result in any sort of kill. The Ignite was used on the side of Kled, but the Galio is likely going to teleport back to lane here. This is where the lane really starts now because Kled, he doesn't have that aggressive Ignite summoner spell, and Galio, if he gets punished and he has to teleport back, if he teleports back to lane right now and gets punished, he has to walk back to lane, and that means he can lose a lot of farms. So this is really now the apex of this lane and where it can be blown completely open.
100%. Now you see JYC's jungler going towards him a little bit. All right, I'll just call this fight out as now re-engaging Galio, able to put the Kled underneath turret. Now Viego needs to get the heck out of there as Hecarim has ghosted forward and is just going all in onto him, completely trying to chase him down, and now finally is able to take him out. I've just been informed by production we're about a second ahead. So Gutty, I'm just going to count us down 3, 2, 1 to pause and then count for 2 seconds and then we can unpause. Got it?
Sounds good.
All right, 3, 2, 1, pause. Now 1, 2, press play. Hopefully we should be a little bit more in sync. We'll hear from production if we are a little bit out of sync going forward, and we can just repause again. But a good engage again in the mid lane. Hecarim able to pick up 2 kills, and that is the player we have been highlighting all tournament long, all of both games, now into our third game. Pro legit player continuing to put a lot of pressure into the lane, now forcing Tristana to go under turret.
Yeah, and right there on that little 2v2 in the mid lane. But here comes the Hecarim bottom. Doesn't result in anything. But the Kled there, RD4K, he actually took a tower shot, and that's the threat of that Galio taunt early. So there was the possibility of a 2v2 win there, but it just doesn't go in their favor because of the micro, as well as just Hecarim being a disgusting champion. If I'm quite frank with you, I think he is grossly overpowered. And this Viego, he's known as more of a late game carry, right? He needs to scale up, needs to get that Blade of the Rune King for his healing to really come online. So a bit of a misplay there, but it doesn't mean that this is over just because of the Kled's early game strength. He wants to fight at every opportunity.
And yeah, I just want to make sure we're completely synced up here. Right now, I'm 535, 536, 537. So
all right, it looks like I'm quite behind then. I'll bring us up. Count me in. So I'm at 540 now.
I'm 545, 546 as we're seeing a drag fight. I'll just call it out if there's any engage here. And now Hecarim going into the drag, getting exhausted. Now he's alone in Dragon Pit, but completely harassing the Xerath. And now a Galio ultimate coming in to support and able to knock up the Viego as now diving in as Hecarim. Galio able to pick up the kill. And now Kled and Xerath have to be able to get back over all that wall. Drag is going to go down to JYC. And just to count you in, it seems like I'm at decent timing, 610, 611.
Perfect. I'm lined up with you.
Fantastic. And a dragon going to the side of JYC, a 2K gold lead, 3 kills up, and taking this game early is Jeffrey Wands capping.
Yeah, and really, I would have loved to see them just give that dragon, right? I mean, it's not a huge deal if you lose it early. It's only the first dragon. It's only an air dragon. So CIK, they could have just handed it over. I mean, the Galio is level 6, while Kled is not, right? He has that ultimate ability that can just be a total game changer. So without that strength coming out of your Kled to be able to match him with his ultimate, I just don't see how you ever win that fight. And as a result, JYC, they capitalize perfectly. They pick up those kills, and they are now just in a position to start rolling with the game as we get in our pause. Blob Paints, you have got to get on that exercise bike, man. Come on, power up your internet a little.
Yep, and I guess just taking a quick peek at the CS here, not only did the bot lane of JYC grab 2 assists in that drag fight, also up by 14 CS, and towards the top lane, we're seeing Malphite maybe rushing those early Merc shreds as he is already down 15 CS, getting bullied quite hard and forced to build a Negatron cloak early in the game. Looks like pause is going to be unpaused now, and we're back into things.
Yeah, and really, I don't think that the Malphite lane is too disturbing, right? This Malphite, he is going to struggle early game against the Rise. That is a brutal matchup. So him falling down behind in CS is normally not a problem in an isolated situation. It does become a problem, though, when his team is collapsing around him. You want this Malphite scaling up for the late game team fights, and who cares if he has to fall a bit behind and farm when he can just come in, press the R button, and one-shot or at least crowd control the whole enemy team. But if he can't get to that 5v5 state of the game because his team is falling really far behind, then it just becomes a huge pressure point on the map, because now there's another way that the side of JYC can exploit their opponents. CIK doesn't have pressure coming out of any lanes, and it's going to make contesting objectives very difficult.
Yeah, and now looking towards to help that Malphite is Viego, but I don't know if he spotted the Hecarim there as a legit pro player. Might get another solo kill here on the Viego, just completely chasing him down. Now Viego kind of teasing that blast cone, but going back towards the mid lane, trying to get some support from Kled and just hunting him down as Hecarim. Rise able to rotate up to secure that kill. Galio actually getting the kill there as he flashes a bit of an emote, and now 4 kills up to 0 for the side of JYC.
Yeah, and I mean, I like the idea from the Viego when duo. He's rotating down so that his Kled can be the first one to get there, but they know that it's just a lost 2 versus 2, right? The Viego doesn't have his ultimate ability, so there really isn't the possibility to one-shot someone with that execute from his ultimate. So instead, they just resign. All right, you're going to have to die. Sorry, buddy. But at least they get the Rise ultimate from it. At least there's a couple cooldowns that were blown on the side of JYC, so it's not a complete disaster. But I like that. Just giving one kill, submitting it. Okay, you guys got us. You can have the Viego kill. Let's not give another.
And now Viego down 0-3-0. His team total has 4 deaths, and he has 75% of those. He's going to be very, very behind Hecarim in the jungle. And so now, at this point, if LoL Pro legit player wants to invade at all, Blue Side's jungle is completely his.
And production, if you could pull up the gold for us here, that'd be great, because I think it'll highlight just what the difference is looking like in terms of those junglers, because it's not just the kills and assists that are stacking up for the Hecarim. It's also all of that jungle farm. I mean, there is so much extra on his side. Hecarim is known for being lightning fast on the clear, so it's not too surprising, but it just adds up over and over and over. It means he can do greedy purchases like this Dark Seal because he wants to stack it.
Yeah, you can see the gold difference in the jungle nearing 1,200 gold. That's going to be half of a full item. And even in the mid lane as well, you see an 1,100 gold difference. Now, the bot lane a little bit closer with only 400, the same as the top lane, but you're seeing the big gold differences on the 2 players who have a bounty in 2-0 and 2.
Absolutely, and it's that mid jungle duo, right? The Hecarim, he's so fast, he can get to any play on the map, and the Galio similarly can ulti from a long range distance to match his teammates. So it really enables them to be playmakers all across the field. They have so much roam potential, and I think it's just totally catching CIK off guard here. They thought that was their strategy, right, with the Kled mid lane looking to roam with that ultimate, but instead JYC are beating them at their own game.
Yeah, you haven't seen a roam really from the Galio or the Kled yet into the bot lane. We did roam up to the top to grab that kill on Malphite, as you just mentioned. So as the teams begin to get their ultimates, mid laners now at level 7, hopefully we're going to see a little bit more use of both mid laners, essentially global ultimates.
Yeah, and this dragon is coming up very soon, so I think that'll be the action point. I believe, which dragon is it here that is going to be coming up if I
Infernal.
Infernal. So Infernal Dragon coming up. This is a very valuable dragon for both teams, getting that extra damage. So I think this is going to be a bit of a brawl on the bottom side here, but instead Hecarim is top lane looking for a play with that Herald, and meanwhile Viego comes bottom with Kled. We're going to see action on both sides of the map.
Yeah, the Herald's probably going to be placed to make sure that the side of CIK has to choose between potentially a death and another tower and the dragon. But right now, if they wanted to, they could just start Drake and pretty much get it. Maybe hoping that their bot and mid have enough attack damage to be able to thwart all 4 members, of CIK. And now Kled ultimate going into the 2 players in bot lane, and nice Xerath Q landed, and now Kled going through, a teleport coming through from Malphite, and the Galio ultimate coming in. Nobody's died yet, but now Kled completely knocked up. Tristana finally able to get the kill on Delulu. Hecarim grabbing Malphite after the teleporting. Caitlyn doing a lot of damage onto the Kled, able to get the first kill now, getting exhausted to try to get him away from the rest of the team members. Heal coming out from the Tristana to keep them alive. Caitlyn able to get the auto attack down, and now getting a triple kill onto the Viego, getting the Tristana, and that's going to be a quadra kill from Caitlyn into the bot lane, continuing JYC's prowess over this game.
Blob Paints' internet is not holding him back here. He is popping off. He stays alive through it all, just perfectly positioning, abusing that long-range auto attack of Caitlyn, and just going to town there. Sure, he doesn't have a ton of damage, but he is alive throughout the whole thing, so he is just pumping out damage. Look at this item he picks up. He goes back and he just buys his Kraken Slayer flat. He's got the upgrade boots. He is now a menace. Caitlyn's mid-game isn't what she is known for. Sure, the oppressive laning phase is tough when you're actually the opposing team's carries, but really when Caitlyn can start to ramp up and abuse you is in this mid game when she's roaming around the map, she's sieging turrets with the traps. It is going to be a nightmare. And I like the setup there. I like the setup from CIK. You know, you're using your team's win condition. You have the Kled mid. You have to be roaming around the map looking for plays. But JYC is just so perfect on the match there. They had the Galio ultimate, and they were just able to beat them at their own game. They were instantly responding to the play on the bot side.
Yeah, for sure. A good Malphite teleport in. I mean, I think that's just about the best use of his teleport he could have got out. But the damage coming through from the side of JYC, as well as that Galio ultimate, completely disturbing the entire push. Great awareness from the side of JYC to respond to that push, because if they didn't do everything right there, I mean, you're right. It was a good engage, just unfortunately running into too many members on the side of JYC with too much golden damage.
Absolutely. So now with all that golden damage into the Caitlyn's pockets, I really hope that CIK is able to transition here and instead focus the top side. Yes, it sucks that you're going to lose the dragons, but can you really even contest them in this current map state? Not at all. But this Ryze is not at a point where he is just completely unkillable, is going to 1 versus 2 the top and jungle if there is a gank there. I want to see this Viego Wen duo start to come up top lane and help out his Malphite. He can get a kill on this Ryze. He is vulnerable. He can get that execute when combined with the Malphite ultimate for crowd control. So get up there, start abusing that Ryze. He hasn't gotten so far ahead that he is going to snowball out of control or potentially turn the gank like this Caitlyn Lulu can, and maybe there's a way back into the game that way for CIK.
Yeah, and Infernal Drake going down to the side of JYC. Viego had it free a few minutes ago, but instead opting for that play towards bot before rotating up drag, unfortunately gives up a main objective in the process. And now Hecarim going for the bot lane dive, getting the Tristana. Look at the CC coming through and finally able to pick her up. Tristana was feared for about 5 full seconds there and just died. Nothing you can do there. Xerath doesn't have any really ability to peel other than potentially landing it in. Now Hecarim going in onto the level 7 Xerath, not much you can do there. Pushing him back from the tower, able to grab the WN stun, now exhausting him out, not going to do much. Kled rotating down, but a little bit too late there on the play, and Hecarim's going to grab a double kill in the bot lane, now re-engaging Malphite, missing his ult on the Ryze, and that's so big for Ryze to not be able to get out of there. Now just trying to TP on out, able to do it as the top laner and jungle do not have enough damage. Viego still level 8 Ryze, able to get on out of there, likely because of the missed ult by Malphite.
Oh no, that is mental boom at work right there. I mean, Malphite ult is not known for being a precision skill shot, right? I mean, you really hope to see him land that with this any sort of movement ability out of the Ryze. You hate to see that as a result. Really, that was an avenue back into the game, right? Viego can be a really disgusting hyper carry later on. And
now Hecarim steals a Rift Herald just when they have a taste of anything happening. It completely goes away, able to pick up the kill onto Viego. Now Malphite not able to run away, doesn't have the ult to escape. Galio grabbing both kills there as Rift Herald goes down to JYC, and 2 more kills. It's now 13-1. They have a 9k gold lead 16 minutes into the game, and the win conditions for CIK are slowly being whittled down to a point where I don't even know if they have much left.
All right, can we start a new chat poll here? Instead of maybe who's going to win the game, let's talk about timers here. Is it going to be a pre or post 20-minute victory for JYC? I mean, this is just a massacre right now. There's no other word to call it. There is a whopping 1 kill on the side of CIK, and it is on that Tristana. Maybe there's a world where he can get a one-shot on somebody caught out with the Malphite ult combined, although we saw what that resulted in last time, not exactly going in their favor. But yeah, I'm not really sure what to say at this point. It's not looking great for CIK.
And it's not only the golden item difference, but even the level difference too. Viego right now is level 8 to Hecarim's 11, and a similar thing in the bot lane with Tristana being level 9 and Caitlyn being level 11, each level being worth about 600 gold of stats. So not only is it the gold game, but also the XP game they're losing, with bot lane rotating up towards the top as they choose to switch Ryze and their bot lane.
And I was wondering earlier why that Hecarim was just packing such a punch on the tank pony, but it's because he has a Magi Soul Stealer, and it is stacking up. Look at that, 14 stacks on the Hecarim Soul Stealer. It's as much as his vision score at this point in the game. He is a one-shot threat, as here he goes on Tristana.
And now ulting into the Tristana, into the red smite there as he chooses to go in. Flash heal coming both there from Tristana, but it's not going to be enough as Hecarim is able to get him down. Kled trying to ult in to stop some of that damage. And a nice knockup from Galio, able to get Xerath under turret, but he's not going to be able to do much more than that. And I believe we're just going to do another quick time check. I think we're ahead by a second or two right now. I'm 18:05. 1806. The ultimate coming out from Caitlyn is going to be able to take down that Malphite as kills are going all the way around the board. If production just wants to let me know about how many seconds I'm ahead by Hecarim now going in, the exhaust coming out, not going to be enough as Rise goes down, kills happening all over the map. Looks like we're about 2 seconds ahead, so I'm just going to call us out, do the same thing. If we can pause after 3, and then I'll count to 2. So want to get that UR bar up, and we can go 1, 2, 3, pause, and 1, 2, unpause. Right now I'm 1833, 1834. Rift Herald being dropped into the bot lane. Hecarim doesn't care about all the damage he's taking as the Rift Herald finally dropped. Ignite going down onto Hecarim, able to get him pretty low, but he's going to get the heck on out of there as the bot lane is pushing the top lane, grabbing that first inhibitor. And now it looks like we are 2 seconds too late. So I don't know if I can even really go ahead. Yeah, I'm going to speed up the playback just for a few seconds here. And you know what? I think I just messed it all up again.
Well, you know what? At 1907, the inhibitor turrets have been cracked. Bobby Pro is farming out these creeps like nobody's business, hoping to get back into the game, and I hope he can. There's nothing worse than being an attack damage carry in this situation, just struggling beneath the weight of this enormous fed Hecarim. He has been eating good. He's been working out. He's been putting on the mass. He's got 22 stacks on his Magi Soul Stealer. He is really a nightmare to play against because he's going to ult you, and what can you even do? You saw the Tristana try to ulti him away last time. He even got the timing well on it, but it just doesn't matter in the end because that is an unkillable pony.
Oh my goodness, look at that guy. 8-0-3 right now. I'm just going to do one last time check before we see likely what's going to be the end of this game. Right now, I just got to 20 minutes, 1 second, 2 second. I don't know if that's lined up where you are. Production can check me on that. Let me know if I need to pause again as Mountain Soul is going to go down. Xerath actually almost stole that with his Q as he had a good attempt there, but 3 drags on the side of JYC now. And it looks like we are good. If you're in line with me, 2020, 2021, hope that's the same numbers on your screen.
It absolutely is, and that's the 3rd dragon. At this point, it's a courtesy dragon because I don't think we'll get to the 4th. I would like to see JYC just stack up on the Baron at this point. I don't think there's really a world where their competition can contest them.
But now Alti and Viego and Malphite re-engaging onto him. Now he has Viego, Malphite, and Xerath all over him. Is he going to be able to get out of this one? Now doing a lot of damage. Tristana on him as well. Ghosting, trying to re-engage back in. Galio ultimate coming back in to help him. Able to grab Tristana and Xerath in that. Now taunting into the Tristana, able to grab the kill. A good re-engage from Galio there as they continue to oppress these players. A nice dodge from the Xerath Q there. Hecarim just completely pathing out, able to grab the kill onto the Xerath, and he's still alive. How is he still in this game, folks? Lulu now ulting up the Hecarim, and he's so tanky now. Polymorphing into the Viego, grabbing the kill. LOL Pro, legit player, somehow does not die there. Picks up a lot of kills in the meantime. 21-2. The base is completely open. I think they can choose to end here if they'd like to.
I think you might be right in that. Rise is in the bottom lane about to pick up this inhibitor for himself. The top lane inhibitor has already gone down. JYC is stacking up mid lane here to look for this next inhibitor, although they don't quite have minions, so it'll take a little bit. But I don't really see a world where the side of CIK is able to come back. Maybe if there's a fountain dive attempt and Tristana gets a pentakill for her troubles, we'll see some life coming out of the squad. But at this point, there is a 15k gold deficit before 22 minutes in the game. I think the stat that Riot has touted on their broadcast is that if there's about a 500 gold difference per minute, I want to say, that usually the game is basically unwinnable. And I think we are long beyond that.
Yeah, that would be resulting in an 11k gold difference. And right now we're seeing about a 14k gold difference. So you heard it here from Riot. CIK, sorry, your time in this game is over. It was not up to us. It's up to the publishers of the game. And it looks like we have a clip in the chat of that Hecarim going in ham, and you might see it again here as he just wants to go all the way over that Viego, make sure he keeps vision of him, and this is just rude at this point. He's walking all over him. LOL Pro, legit player. You got to put a little bit of respect on this guy, just killing him with the Sunfire. You hate to see a pony be that rude.
That's a throwback right there to the Alistar solo killing tactical in the LCS playoffs the other day, just letting the minions slowly whittle him down in combination with Sunfire. Maybe the side of CIK is going to engage on this pony, but after their attempt last time, they don't have the confidence to go for it as he is just in their face as Bobby 345 Pro is just struggling to clear out super minions.
Yeah, and that Medjai's that we talked about earlier is fully stacked up now. He's 11-0-5, 2 levels up against the highest level player, and now with super minions going in on the base, it looks like they should be looking to end here. Although if LoL Pro legit players play in the bot lane is any indication, they might be stalling this one out because that's just how they feel right now.
Yeah, and with the double super minions coming in every wave because of the triple inhibitors being down, there is a world where the minions just completely overwhelm the side of CIK. Double super minions in every lane is really tough to clear out, and while they are susceptible to magic damage, there isn't really a lot of them on the side, really a lot of that on the side of CIK other than Xerath. So instead, they're just trying desperately to clear out the minions as they get whittled
and
down.
Now Hecarim finally diving under turret, able to grab the Malphite as Ryze got a good glacial augment stun off of him. Now 5v4 with the super minions pushing in, likely looking at our last fight here. First Nexus turret falls down, and now Hecarim ulti comboed with the Galio ulti, able to fear a few people. Tristana going to go down there, forcing the last members into base. A nice taunt to be able to grab the kills before they are able to go back into base. Now Kled able to grab the Hecarim as he tries to dive into the Nexus turret. You can't tank that much, buddy, as the last few players are going to go down here. Caitlyn getting harassed by the Zed, actually. Now Viego with a double kill and turning it around. 3v3. They might not be able to end here. Now Kled re-engaging with the ult. Ryze gonna go down. Caitlyn with a triple kill, and now Galio has to get the heck out of there. He's the last player alive. He might be able to go out, and keeping themselves alive for just a minute here as the rest of the players. Sorry, that was not a Caitlyn attacking. That's Viego. I always get a little bit confused here, and I guess the question is, are they going to be able to hold off these super minions? It looks like the Tristana and Xerath coming back up. They will be able to.
I love it. Oh no, and there goes Viego to the minions. I love the Malphite respawns. He just sprints at a base to ulti the super minions. Not typically the UCC out of it, but desperate times call for desperate measures as they try to clear away these creeps. Look at this. This is the power of those double super minions in every lane that I was talking about. Yeah, I mean, look at this. It's just pandemonia on the Nexus. I think this Hecarim can just come through here, ghost up to the Nexus, and auto-attack it once or twice, and things will be done.
Yeah, and it looks like the side of CIK got a little bit of BM in there before they ended the game, asking JYC how the heck they're dying to silvers. I believe the answer to that would be Fountain Turret, but I think you can also just say outplayed as well. I think that's synonymous.
Yeah, definitely, especially when it results in the Hecarim losing his Medjai stack. At that point, you're basically bronze. You know, you didn't get your perfect game. So really, you've got the mental victory there on the side of CIK. As JYC starts up this Baron here, I don't think there's a world where it's contested.
No, I don't think so either, but again, this is just one game in the tournament, so CIK has at least one more game to play tonight or tomorrow, and so going forward, I think they have to take a few lessons from this, if nothing else. What does CIK have to do to adjust going forward for their next games?
Well, I think here it was a case of they're getting beat at their own game, right? So we have that Kled mid lane, and he wants to be roaming around the map, be really dynamic, get his teammates ahead. But instead, it was the Galio doing that in combination with Hecarim, right? So I think what I want to see out of this team in the future is if they're going to be opting into this, Kled middle, if they're going to be opting into the Garen middle, I want to see him instead have some strong laners to back him up. I want to see, instead of a Malphite in the top lane, something like a Renekton, something that's really aggressive that he can play around so that he can get that laner ahead and just completely snowball the game out of control as the Nexus comes under fire.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to use the super minions to end this Nexus. Oh, and Galio ulting into turret, as well as Hecarim and the rest of the boys. They don't even care about this Fountain at all. And that is going to be the end of this game. We are going to take a bit of a break before coming back at 8 p.m. for the rest of the Wednesday night games and finally finishing up the bracket series on Thursday, heading into the weekend for the playoffs. This is going to be a great tournament. The April Alpha Cup, again, sponsored by